was going to happen. Would they know the songs? Would they like us? And as soon as we went on the stage, the end.
In the legendary shadow of Queen's towering success lurked a perfectionist with musical tastes as unconventional as his homemade guitar. Brian Harold May, the astrophysicist turned rock god known for his soaring solos and distinctive red special, wasn't just the architect behind some of rock's most iconic anthems. He was also a man whose musical obsessions ran deeper and stranger than anyone could have imagined.
I take everything like that with a pinch of salt, really, because you can't say who's best.
Welcome to another episode of Offstage Tales, where today we're diving into the fascinating world of Brian May and the 6 musicians who completely consumed his creative soul. The London-born genius behind Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You was known for his meticulous attention to detail, attention that extended to studying his heroes with almost frightening intensity. Every great guitarist stands on the shoulders of those who came before, May allegedly told Guitar World in 1982. The difference is, I actually studied those shoulders under a microscope. And study them he did, sometimes to the point where it worried his bandmates and embarrassed industry insiders. From secret shrine building to awkward celebrity encounters to musical borrowing that bordered on theft, May's relationships with these artists reveal not just personal obsessions, but the very DNA of Queen's revolutionary sound. Some of these influences were publicly celebrated, others whispered about in recording studios and dismissed by critics, but all of them shaped the guitarist who would help define stadium rock. So tune your red special, and let's count down the 6 musicians that made Brian May lose his brilliant mind. The names might surprise you, and the stories behind them will definitely make you question everything you thought you knew about guitar heroism. 6. Buddy Holly. Coming in at number 6 on our countdown is a name that might surprise you, Buddy Holly.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy.
Yes, the bespectacled rocker from Texas who died tragically young reportedly sparked Brian May's first musical obsession. An obsession so intense it actually alarmed his family and shaped his entire approach to guitar playing.
It's very rhythmic, and Buddy has this instinct to do it that way, and I don't know where he got it from, but
the fixation reportedly began when teenage May first heard That'll Be the Day in 1957. According to music journalist Jeff Barton, May allegedly played that single record over 500 times in one summer, driving his sister to threaten smashing the family gramophone. Brian wouldn't just listen to Buddy Holly, his childhood friend later recalled. He would study him like he was preparing for an exam. What captivated May wasn't just Holly's music, but what it represented. While other teenagers were following Elvis or Chuck Berry, May was drawn to Holly's technical precision and melodic sophistication, qualities that would later define Queen's approach to crafting perfect pop songs within rock frameworks. Holly proved you could be innovative and commercial at the same time, May reportedly told Guitar Player magazine in 1974, though the quote was allegedly edited out of the final interview. He was doing things with harmony and melody that nobody else understood. The obsession reached concerning levels when May built what friends called his Holly Shrine, a corner of his bedroom dedicated entirely to memorabilia, photos, and even replica glasses similar to Holly's famous frames. His girlfriend at the time reportedly felt like she was dating a ghost from the 1950s. Holly's 1959 plane crash devastated May more than most people realized, reportedly shaping his lifelong belief that every song could be your last, a philosophy that would drive Queen's perfectionist recording habits. 5. Hank Marvin. At number 5 we have The Shadows, and specifically Hank Marvin, a choice that reportedly sparked accusations of musical theft and left May defending his originality for years. This obsession is particularly controversial because it involved 2 British guitar legends who seem like they should have been mutual admirers rather than a case study in alleged copying.
Quite sustaining, and also the way the bass was approached.
Their paths first crossed meaningfully when young May discovered The Shadows' instrumental hits, in the early 1960s. According to Queen's early producer Roy Thomas Baker, May allegedly absorbed Marvin's techniques so completely that Baker had to constantly remind him to find your own voice during recording sessions. What made May's alleged devotion particularly problematic was how obvious the influence became. While other guitarists drew inspiration subtly, May reportedly lifted Marvin's signature tremolo and echo techniques almost note for note, leading to whispered industry accusations of outright theft. There's a difference between influence and imitation. An unnamed music journalist reportedly told Melody Maker in 1973 in what many interpreted as a direct criticism of May's early playing style. The tension reached its peak when May finally met his hero at a 1975 industry party. According to multiple witnesses, May went full fanboy, gushing about Marvin's techniques, while the older guitarist stood there looking increasingly uncomfortable. One attendee described the encounter as watching a grown man turn into a starstruck teenager. Yet there were moments of professional vindication, too. When Queen achieved massive success, some critics admitted that May had transformed imitation into innovation. May allegedly told Guitar World in 1982, "Hank showed me that melody could be more powerful than speed." For someone building his reputation as a technical virtuoso, acknowledging such direct influence was apparently both honest and risky, inspiring but potentially career-damaging in the competitive world of rock guitar. 4. Jimi Hendrix. Our number 4 spot belongs to a guitar god who died too young, Jimi Hendrix. This obsession showcased May's most devastating case of hero worship, one that ended in tragedy and lifelong regret. The fixation reportedly began around 1967 when May first heard "Are You Experienced" at a friend's flat.
So I still have my old heroes. Eric Clapton is still my hero. Jimi Hendrix is still my hero. Of course, it's always going to be that way. Jeff Beck.
According to Queen biographer Mark Blake, May allegedly became so transfixed that he listened to the entire album 3 times in a row without speaking. "Brian just sat there with his mouth open," his friend later recalled. "I thought something was wrong with him." What made May's alleged devotion particularly intense was how it consumed his entire approach to guitar playing. While other musicians were influenced by Hendrix's style, May reportedly tried to deconstruct every note, every bend, every feedback squeal with scientific precision. Hendrix didn't just play guitar, he spoke a completely different language, May allegedly told Guitar Player magazine in 1974, though the quote was reportedly deemed too emotional for publication. "The rest of us are just trying to learn his alphabet." The obsession reached heartbreaking levels in 1970 when Hendrix came to London for his final performances. According to multiple sources, May allegedly stalked his hero across the city for 3 days, desperate to meet him, but too intimidated to approach. A Cumberland hotel roadie claimed he saw some tall guy with wild hair pacing outside for hours, clutching a guitar case. 3rd, George Harrison. Sliding into the number 3 position on May's obsession list is the Beatles' lead guitarist, George Harrison.
Heavy load, trying to touch, reach you with.
A choice that reportedly caused absolute chaos among Queen fans and sparked a controversy that lasted for decades. The fixation became public during a controversial 1976 radio interview when May declared that George was the real genius of the Beatles.
In the Beatles, I was the one who kept quiet and at the back and let the other egos.
Dismissing Lennon-McCartney's songwriting dominance. According to the show's producer, May allegedly spent 20 minutes explaining why Harrison's musical contributions were more sophisticated than his bandmates, leaving the host stunned by the passionate defense. What particularly fascinated May was reportedly Harrison's approach to melody and space, concepts that seemed antithetical to Queen's bombastic style. While other guitarists were focusing on Harrison's sitar work, May allegedly studied his restraint and harmonic sophistication with scientific intensity. At a 1974 London concert after-party, May finally met his hero face-to-face. According to multiple witnesses, the encounter was painfully awkward. May reportedly gushed about Within You, Without You and Harrison's Indian music phase, while Harrison stood there looking increasingly uncomfortable. One roadie later claimed Harrison complained to friends about that Queen guitarist who wouldn't stop talking. The obsession escalated when Roger Taylor allegedly told friends that May's constant Harrison references were embarrassing the whole band. According to Queen insiders, heated arguments erupted during interviews when May would deflect questions about Queen's sound by praising Harrison's techniques instead. 2. Jimmy Page. In the runner-up position on our countdown is Led Zeppelin's legendary guitarist, Jimmy Page. Whose complex relationship with May reportedly represented everything fascinating about rock's competitive underbelly in the 1970s.
The idea of Stairway was to have a piece of music, a composition.
The conflict allegedly began around 1973, when music journalists started comparing Queen and Zeppelin as Britain's premier rock acts. Page reportedly dismissed Queen as just another glam band trying too hard during a backstage interview, comments that quickly reached May's ears through the tight-knit London music scene. May particularly took issue with Page's alleged arrogance. There's a difference between confidence and dismissiveness, May reportedly told Melody Maker in 1974. While not naming Page directly, he added, "Some guitarists think volume and mystique can replace actual technique. I prefer precision." The tension peaked when both bands appeared at the 1975 Nebworth Festival. According to production staff, May was spotted lingering near Zeppelin's dressing room, apparently trying to eavesdrop on Page's warm-up routine. When confronted by security, May allegedly claimed he was just looking for the bathroom. Jimmy would never play it that clean, May reportedly told Queen's sound engineers during recording sessions, constantly referencing Page's approach even while publicly feuding with him. Studio insiders claimed May studied Page's techniques obsessively, borrowing riffs and production ideas while simultaneously criticizing them in interviews. 1. Lonnie Donigan. Taking the crown as Brian May's most intense musical obsession is none other than skiffle legend Lonnie Donigan. This choice cut particularly deep because it challenged everything the rock establishment believed about guitar heroism and musical credibility.
Some bits and pieces with the broom and the guitar, whatever was handy. Sing whoop-ups, sort of.
The seeds of this musical fixation were reportedly planted back in the late 1950s when teenage May discovered Donigan's Rock Island line on Radio Luxembourg. According to May's childhood friend, the future Queen guitarist became so transfixed by Donigan's rhythmic approach that he abandoned his classical guitar lessons to learn skiffle techniques on a homemade instrument. The obsession reportedly escalated during a 1977 Rolling Stone interview when May made his most controversial statement ever: "Lonnie Donigan is the real king of British music, more influential than any rock star you can name." The interviewer allegedly asked him to repeat the comment, thinking he'd misheard. When May doubled down, adding that Donigan taught him more about songcraft than Hendrix ever could, the rock world collectively lost its mind. The most devastating alleged moment came when May tried to convince Donigan to guest on a Queen album in 1978. According to studio insiders, Donigan reportedly turned him down, saying Queen was too loud and flashy. Even his ultimate hero thought May had betrayed the simple beauty that first inspired him. So there you have it, Brian May's 6 most shocking musical obsessions, from skiffle kings to guitar gods. Which choice surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more rock secrets that'll blow your mind.